Okay guys, we're back here. We've got the ID board out right where we want it. And we're going to go ahead and take the OD down about 40 thousandths to the thickness that I've decided I wanted. So we'll go ahead and take it down about 40 thousandths. Probably about 10 thousandths a pop so we don't get it wear out the carbide too fast. So okay, here we go. Go ahead and touch off. And I'll zero my DRO. And I'll take right at 10 thousandths. So that'll be a 20 thousandth per side cut. I'm going to take it down a little further on the outside so I can get my knurling tool in here later to do what we want there. So, okay. Go ahead and take a measurement with my dial calipers. Looking good. We'll go ahead and take another 10 thousandth cut. Put a fresh carbide on this to do the finishing cut so you can tell it's cutting quite a bit better. This titanium is pretty hard on carbides. Okay, we'll go ahead and take another measurement. We're right at 0.10 or 100 thousandths right now, so we'll take another 10 and we should be right where we want to be. Let me double check here. Yeah, we'll take another 10 thousandths. Maybe we'll take just about 8 thousandths. That'll leave us a little bit of room to do some finishing. So, okay. Go and touch off again. Zero our DRO. We're going about 8 thousandths. That'll give us 16 total. All right, here we go. Go ahead and check and see where we're at. Still just a little shy. I knew we would be, but I like taking this last little part a little slow just to make sure we get a nice finish and we're not taking too much off of there. So we'll take about another 4 thousandth cut. We'll go ahead and zero our DRO again. we'll take just a few thousandths here. Right now I'm running about 1,010 RPM on the spindle speed here, so it makes a nice finish. Okay. Okay guys, we've got our wall thickness on that at 0.95, and the overall diameter of that is right at 1 inch. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and put a design on the ring. So what I'm going to do is just start this up in a low speed and just take a permanent marker and go ahead and just darken this up so I can see what I'm doing when I want to put some marks on it. So kind of a cheap way to do it. Okay guys, what I've done here is just scratched a mark on the overall length of the ring, which will be right there where my finger is. And then what I've done is set my dial caliper at 0.80, and we'll go ahead and just scratch some marks on there where I want to put some rings on the ring, in lack of a better word, some designs. What we'll do is we'll measure right over and do the same right here. Whoop. Okay, so we have 3 spots there now that we can go ahead and take the, what I like to do is go ahead and take my tool over here and just roll my chuck around by hand. That way I'm not getting carried away with what I'm doing. And turn a little more light here, which I should have turned on a long time ago, but I can go ahead and put my marks in a little bit more permanently just by rolling around my chuck by hand. You can kind of see what we got going here. What I'm doing here is just still rolling around the marks that I made with my caliper. Just getting in the depth I want here. And nothing too tricky about this, just kind of putting it where you want it to put them so it'll look pretty good later, you know. So we'll call that good, and I'm going to go ahead and zero my DRO, so when I go to the next one here, I can put it at the same depth so it will look right. Now you could do this with your motor on and engaged, but it's just, you don't have to take much out, and it's just easier to roll around by hand and kind of take it easy. Okay, there we are. They're both the same depth now on the DRO, so what I'm going to do is come in over here and just take a little bit out between the end of the ring on the opposite side. We'll leave a little bit there to finish. It's always good to leave yourself a little extra to cut out later so you don't screw it up, if you're like me. Okay, so that's basically going to be the shape of our ring right here. So we've got our little designs cut in it. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and knurl a design right in the middle of it, and I'll get set up for that and bring you back. Okay guys, what we're going to do now is go ahead and put a little pattern on there with a knurling tool right in the center section, and then we'll clean the other sections off, and then we should have a nice little herringbone pattern right in the middle. So we'll go ahead and give that a try. We'll put a little oil on there, lube things up, and we'll get going on this. Titanium will take a knurl. Some guys told me it's kind of hard to knurl, but you know, I haven't really had a whole lot of trouble doing it. So let's see what we got there. It's a nice little pattern. I think we'll go ahead and stop it right there. I like how it looks. What we'll do is just do a tool change out. We'll touch up the two little rings where, sorry about that, I know I'm bumping my camera, I don't have too good of a setup yet, so hopefully I'll have a better setup for the next video. What we're going to do is go ahead and just trim off a little bit of the pattern where we got it on the edge there a little bit. It'll just undercut it just a little bit and it'll be just fine. Zero out my DRO, so I'll get the other side the same. And take a little pass here. We need to go just a hair more. Okay. We'll come in right here. Zero that out. And we'll take our cut. And we'll take a peek and see what we got here. Still got just a little bit of knurl showing right there, so we'll go ahead and take just a shade more out of there, then we'll see what we got there. Okay, so we got our knurl in the middle, and we got the outer sides cut off, so I think we can get the rest of it with a little bit of emery cloth. What I'm going to do in that little, in the knurl right in the middle, is I'm actually going to take just a real thin cut on that. Just take a little bit of that knurl off, and it actually makes a pretty cool pattern. Alright guys, we got our pattern in the center there with our knurling tool, and we've trimmed the edges a little bit. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and take my tool and go ahead and clean up the little valleys I put in there earlier. So we'll go ahead and do that and just define those a little bit. So we'll just keep rolling that around until we get our desired depth, and just so it looks pretty good, you know. Again, I'm doing this by hand just because it is kind of small and a little more control, and doesn't need a whole lot. So, okay. I think we'll call that good. We'll go ahead and zero our DRO and move over to the other side. That way we'll have them the same depth again, like we talked about before. So okay, there we go. Both the same depth. Okay, guys, what we're going to do now is go ahead and just, you know, chamfer the inside of this and make it nice and smooth so whoever's going to be wearing it will be comfortable. So I usually use a small file for that and some emery cloth, some emery paper, so we'll go ahead and do that. It's getting there. I like to make sure on that shoulder there that it isn't digging into your skin, and it's really comfortable for whoever's going to be wearing it. So we'll go ahead and use a little emery paper on it now. Follow it up with some purple Scotch-Brite. That doesn't feel too bad. Well, I've got that right there. I'm going to go ahead and polish the outer rings. Okay. Get closer to the final product here. I'm going to go ahead and pause you there, and I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Okay, guys, we've got this polished off a little bit and got it trued up. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to just kind of take a cut right down through here and get it pretty thin. Then I'll probably just cut the rest of it off with a hacksaw. I don't like parting titanium. It just grabs too hard, and I haven't had very good luck doing it. So might help if we put it in gear. I'll stop right there. We'll grab a hacksaw and we'll cut that right off. Whoop, there it went. Pretty thin. I'll have to pause you there and get it out of my chip tray. Okay guys, what I've done here is I've got the ring out of my chip tray after I cut it off the hacksaw, and now I've chucked it up in this little mini chuck, and it gives me the opportunity to go inside of that ring and do the finished cut on that. And I'll emphasize, you know, you got to go pretty slow on this because that chuck's pretty small and it can pull out of there pretty easy. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a few cuts on that and get it evened up with the other side and go to that step. All right, guys, I forgot to adjust my tool post, so we'll give that another try here. I like to hand feed this part, just go really slow. When we get closer, we'll take a measurement. So we'll have it exactly the same as the other side. I always leave this side just a little bit long when I'm making it so I can do a finished cut and get it right where I want it. Just go nice and slow here, very small cuts on this part of the project. We want to yank it out of that little chuck. Had them come flying out of there before, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun. So. Amazingly or not, though, I can usually chuck them back up and finish them. That titanium's so strong it doesn't really mark them if they do come out. So. Close. We'll stop here in just a minute. We'll take a measurement. I'm going to eyeball it for now and get it close. Okay, so let me grab my caliper here and see where we're at. I'm probably going to have to unchuck that to get a good measurement, but I gotta get it pretty close here. Bear with me for just a minute and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I had to pull that out of my chuck to get the measurement right. We were within 1/1000th of the other side, so time I put a little emery paper on there or whatever, it will be just right. So we're pretty dang close. So what we'll do, I'm going to pull these burrs out of here on that edge, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and fire that up. And very, very carefully, you can see how that's not very deep on that chuck. We're going to go ahead and deburr that. A little bit dangerous, so you got to use your best judgment here. Don't go in too deep so it doesn't grab. Get that burr off there with this little file. going to make it comfortable. And that's getting there pretty good. We'll go ahead and use some emery paper now and go get it down just a little bit more. Still got a little bit of a burr on the outside diameter of that, so we'll take our file very carefully. Just gonna knock that off there. This titanium's pretty famous for leaving some burrs on there, so. Still got a little bit of a burr hanging on there. So go ahead and see if we can get that off. Getting pretty close. It's getting smooth. I think we'll just go just a little more and I think we'll have it. Okay, we'll go ahead and flip that ring around and give the other side a little bit of a polish. It's probably getting kind of hot, which it is. Okay. Okay, it's looking like a ring. Let's double check everything here. I think it looks okay. Let's go ahead and pop it out of the chuck. That's what our finished product looks like. It has a nice little design in the middle. I'll go ahead and go over here to my have a little buffing wheel, give it a polish, and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, here's the finished product of our little wedding band that we made. It's nice and shiny. It's very comfortable to wear. I don't know if you can see the design. It's got like a little herringbone design that we made with the knurling tool. You see it, it slides right on. It's very comfortable to wear. And yeah, you can make stuff out of old bolts. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not very professionally done. This is one of the first videos I've ever made for YouTube and doing this kind of work. So hopefully I'll get to make more sometime, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.